stories really largely ignored the possible threat to the mother's life or any achievements of childbirth, and were much more centered on what the child meant for the destiny of the people. So there's not as much attention to the mother's survival, but more of like what this child would do for the community as a whole. So the prophecies were rarely like mother, but it was mostly that this is what he will do for our community, will bring blessing on our community. So this ties into the concept of Jewish community. Even in today's Jewish communities, a pregnant woman's belly is considered shared by the community. It's their duty to love and nourish and support and care for this child. And in ancient Israel, that was obviously more critical as they were reproducing for their survival. It is very customary when Jewish people read each other to say mom or papa, but they change it for a pregnant woman to, and I'm not going to say this correctly, the Shah of Tova, which means may it be at the right time. So you don't say mazel tov to everyone because bad luck is maybe not the right word. Yeah. Yes. Nothing. No, we're going to go yet. Because to say mazel tov to a pregnant woman is you're saying something good has already happened, like you know it well, and so you're wishing on the pregnant woman may it be at the right time. So if you take all of that, the pregnant mom who's likely 14, 16 years old, all of that they are living with, added with Mary, the whole unmarried virgin aspect, traveling on a donkey, no women, no midwife, no epidurals, no standing wipes, hauling booty out of there before Herod could find them. There's a lot of stress. And on the other hand, you have this beautiful story of provision and community, a beautiful birth prophecy from a majestic messenger, Beyonce who stuck around, scandal, a delightful shared giggle and song with a pregnant cousin, straw cloths, a heavenly host singing, safe journey back home, sacred gifts from wise astrologers who traveled a long, long way. So we see all of this fear and stress, and then we also see provision, community, joy, worship, sacrifice, endurance, miraculous survival. The Lord with us truly. Like I'm just thinking, man, I don't want to enter into anything where the odds are 1 in 3-ish. Like that's not odds I want to enter into, especially as a young kid. So you just see you can fully appreciate, I think, the miraculous survival and the concept of the Lord with us truly. So if I'm honest, I feel a bit manic about the Christmas season. The pressure of it all, fostering magical moments, 50 traditions and experiences, and managing everyone's emotions and expectations. My usual roller coaster ride goes a little bit like this. Oh yay, here comes the holiday season. I'm so overwhelmed and over already, but dang it, you're going to have fun and make special memories so that we will all have precious memories stored up in our hearts like Mary for years to come. Home Alone at the Dallas Symphony, the Arboretum German Christmas Village, cookie decorating, making the neighbors' treats, caroling, shopping, cuddling the holiday cups from Starbucks in 2 hands, making gingerbread houses, looking at Christmas lights, putting up our own Christmas lights. Holiday in the park, Christmas fairs, school Christmas parties. I can't believe we've never taken our children skiing. What will we do on Christmas break? Are we just going to sit here at home? We better get out the Jesse tree and get our nightly Advent reading in. Could everyone just sit down and listen while we do it? I gotta wrap presents. I gotta keep the dog and the kids out of the presents. There's holiday programs at school. There's holiday programs at churches with full-time staff and 6-figure budgets, and we better get tickets. Ornament exchanges and 50 exchanges and secret Santas at work. Elf on the shelf, although that's a no for me, dog. We are going to have so much fun. Oh, now I've moved to the resentful phase. How dare we make Jesus' simple birth like this? How dare people shoot red and green confetti into a cheering crowd with spotlights and real camels and ignore the homeless? We better adopt another family so we can feel less guilty about what we bought. God, will we ever do this right, or will they ever do this right? I'm doing it just the right amount of balance. How dare they? I'm done with all this and I'm done with all them. Too bad they can't find my balance in the season. Then immediately after Christmas is over, regrets. We should have done less. We should have done more. Was it magical enough? Did we rest? Did we worship? Our kids spoiled? Did I spend enough time in each family's house? Did I manage everyone's expectations? Oh, a little shot to my next process. I've been enjoying reading the work of Dr. Becky Kennedy, a child psychologist. I think she writes some of the best parenting stuff out there, but part of the alert for me is that when she speaks, she's speaking to the adult as well. So I think she would say, read this book even outside of parenting, because this is good stuff for all of your relationships. She does a lot of internal legal system stuff. It's good for you, all of them. She talks a lot about being for us where we came from, our triggers, who we are, what we need to get that we needed before we can foster security, attachment, safety in our children. One of my favorite phrases of hers is 2 things can be true. Says it so long. For example, 2 things can be true. Our kids can be validly upset with our decisions, and it can still be the right decision. She says, when you're in one thing is true mode, you're judgmental and reactive to everyone else's experience because it feels like an assault on your own. She really spends a lot of time focusing on the internal legal systems model of multiplicity. The ability to accept multiple realities at once is critical to healthy relationships. This idea is critical to peace, even within yourself. I can do things differently than I have in the past, and both of those things were right for me at those times. Now, don't confuse multiplicity with the idea of paradox, even though we do see a lot of paradox in the Bible. But paradoxes are more things that are contradicting, that are seemingly absurd. Like, how could this possibly be true and this possibly be true? Multiplicity is more the idea that within ourselves, we have a multitude of parts and different roles, and those parts all have good intentions for us. Multiple parts of ourselves are working together, and they all have good intentions for us. They aren't there to work against each other with only one possibility true. So I'm wondering, what if we take Dr. Becky's 2 things are true model to Athens? Jesus' birth can be about discomfort and taking up a smaller discomfort. And also we can be about community. We can be about spoiling others with baked goods and Lego sets, because when you think about it, the heavenly host was a ridiculous overshadowing. We could say, Jesus, help us to stop and rest and live in the discomfort that comes in walking the road he laid out. And Jesus, help us laugh with our friends, like to giggle over dumb things after we've had too many eggnogs with rum and wonder why lights around bushes on dark streets are still so great to look at. They do all of those things. Some other ones I thought of are, I can cherish a slow, simple season and make time for special traditions and events. I can buy more or less presents than other people I know and still have bought the right ones. I can eagerly wait for Jesus and wonder if things are going to be okay. I can make space for rest and meditation and search to the ends of the internet for the most ridiculous white elephant birds. I can indulge in baked goods and not feel bad about my mom. I can hold my boundaries and feel sad about what that means. I can hold space for loved ones I miss and laugh myself silly watching Christmas Vacation for the 100th time. I think about Elizabeth and Mary thinking, oh my gosh, we're old, we're young, we're married, this is crazy. And like, what are we gonna do? What's gonna happen? And then even throwing Herod and the decree into the mix, and like still making time to write songs and giggle and laugh with each other. And what a beautiful multiplicity of Christmas that is. What multiplicity would you like to speak over your December? What resonates for you? I can.
I cannot know what I believe and still have in this season.
Can you tell by the look on your face? I don't know if I can.
I also would be embarrassed.
Don't ask your recipes here.
No, I don't have to say embarrassing. This is just embarrassing for me. I can try to responsibly watch and manage our holiday expenses this month and enjoy the things that we do and the money that we spend to bless and give things to. We do both of those. Please, Jesus. That's right. That felt way more mundane than yours. Let's say some of the.
Is there anything about this concept of multiplicity that rubs you the wrong way? Or rubs you in maybe any interesting ways that you got pushback about?
No. The other thing I was. Over the holiday, be with all my excellent fish children. And I can. Love my kids. In the best ways I need to do, and I can still acknowledge. The ways they did. And actually, both of those are true, you know. Maybe sometimes I did my best, and sometimes I didn't do my best. Yeah. Both of those things are true. Oh, no, I think.
Unintentional building all this momentum with people. The idea of multiplicity, I really love that. I mean, that is a little bit of a mind-blowing frame for me, because for a long time, like 20 years, I have really dug the thought of, I gravitate to paradox and to infinity or intimate, the things that seem to be in contradiction with each other, and I talk about holding tensions a lot, and like, what if the tension is only apparent? What if there's not actually a tension? What if it's just multiplicity? That's like whoa, I'm gonna have to chew on that. I mean, yeah, does that mean, are there some things that are paradoxical, or are those things just in fact multiplicity? I'm just,
You know,
I'm wondering.
you'd have to really read through it to look at the systems more, but my understanding is, you know, paradox are more external, or is meant to describe more external things maybe, and multiplicity is meant to describe more of like internal dilemma. That makes sense. I mean, paradox can fall under that too. I don't know. Yes. But in the way that we constantly, in so many of our multiplicitous angles internally, some of them are health and trauma, some of them are health and experience. Like, I should be doing all of them. I should be doing this. I should feel this way. Other people do this. They do this. So I should be able to do this. Like, and you know, some things are just false internal narratives, but many things are. It's not wrong for me to feel that way and feel this way, or for that person to feel that way, and for me to still hold my ground for that.
Right. Yeah, I think that is, it's not just a philosophical exercise that is mind bending for me, you know, paradox versus multiplicity. It's another handle or another way to be at ease in the midst of complexity. And to like have some peace in the midst of what don't have to necessarily be competing truths. They just are truths at the same time.
We can like find peace in holding both of those.
Yeah. That's
Like for Mary, I'm really young and I don't know how scandalous this is gonna be and I don't know what's gonna happen. And I can find joy and trust in this great policy that I got. And for Elizabeth, like, I'm really old and this is really ridiculous and I lived through this and now my husband can talk. And like, and I can like laugh and have internal, like feel this baby bleeding for joy inside of me. I can, those moments of joy don't take away like the fear and possibilities, you know, what could happen, but they're the other way around. And it just, for whatever reason, it's just not our internal default to allow that to exist within ourselves. Like if I eat baked goods, I need to feel that about myself, or if I'm choosing, you know, rest and meditation, then, you know, I can't make time for busy things that would make me happy.
Yeah, well, and, you know, I think about how we come into this world as babies, children, you know, like thinking in black and white is the way that we have to function to create a foundation. As we grow older, we learn that we can shed things that we needed to sustain us when we were younger. And so hopefully, older we get, when we grow, we have more space for this multiplicity. That we can actually believe that things are working, that both things can exist.
Yep. All right, and then I need to wrap up since we've got time for Kara. Now, to be able to do this will require some degree of presence in our bodies, some degree of connection and rest. Otherwise, we just sit on our dysregulated December emotion and roller coaster. Because it's inevitable that whether it's budgets or family dynamics or travels or work or schedules or events, they just can overwhelm and dysregulate us. Hebrew women rarely went in public. They needed to soak in ritual baths and rub oils and salts all over them and wait. Whatever multiplicity you need to find peace in, you won't find it without time to slow down, close your eyes, and breathe. I'm going to close out with a different sending. I'm reading This Rest is Resistance by Trisha Heresy, which I just can't stop enough. She's a big womanist. She refers to herself as the Nap Pastor. It has a nonprofit called the Nap Ministry, where her main focus is Black women, but she would say she doesn't like being narrowed down to that. But the idea that rest is the way that we counteract capitalism and crime culture. And that she has these big retreats where everybody communally naps and she prays verses and psalms over them so the Lord can reveal things to them in their sleep. And she gets the idea from, which I love, her grandmother, who she remembers growing up worked 2 or 3 just long, difficult blue collar jobs every day, and would come home and just close her eyes for 20 or 30 minutes on the couch, and they would be like, "Grandma, sleeping." And she'd be like, "I'm not sleeping, I'm resting, and this is the way." And crime culture doesn't know me. We started saying to our household, "Crime culture doesn't know me, capitalism doesn't know me." Like, they can't take those moments of rest from me, where I recharge and I own this time, and I own the space of my body, so that I can hold all these things intention inside of it. It's just really, but we should all stay with it. So it feels really feels really appropriate to close out with some womanist. She doesn't say woman 33 words, but still, it's a little filter. Right, you're gonna get it. Right, she slightly works that all, but you'll still get it. So close your eyes, get comfortable. This is a long, so don't freak out, but you can take it once. It'll step over you. She said, the following benediction blessing has been spoken over the tired bodies of thousands of people. A transmission to open the portal of rest. The doors of the now temple are open. Won't you come? This is an invitation for weary souls to rest. This is a resistance, a protest. This is a counter narrative to the lie that we all aren't doing enough, that we aren't being enough. This is a counter narrative to the lie that our worth is tied to the grind of capitalism and the lie of rights. You are enough simply by being alive in this moment. Thank you for living. Thank you for resisting. Thank you for creating. Thank you for dreaming. Thank you for resting. We believe that our healing can visit us while we are napping, while we are resting, while we're sleeping, while we're slowing down. We believe that naps provide a dream envisioning space to invent, to create, to heal, to imagine. This is what resistance looks like. Won't you come? This is a resistance. This is a protest. Lord, I just pray over our week coming up in the month of December and all of the mental space that we have filled up with things that can be dysregulating and overwhelming. Lord, all the things we think we should be feeling or should be doing, we're not sure about. We don't know what we believe. We don't know what spaces we should hold for what. Lord, would you give us peace in our multiplicity of thoughts, that we could hold our truths and our boundaries and your goodness and your promises, and still acknowledge and hold our grief, our joy, the stress, the struggle, the dynamics, all of the things that can make this season so complicated. Lord, we see such evidence of it in your story of Mary, of Elizabeth, of women throughout Jewish and Hebrew culture. Lord, that they had so many things that needed to be both true. We thank you for this example. We hold on to it as we close our eyes and steal moments to rest throughout this season. Would you bring peace in these moments and in these tensions? In your name we pray.